Hi, I'm Cleveland Gary, CEO of the Black Shopping Channel. Today I have the pleasure and honor of having the wealthiest black woman in the world, Mrs. Folorunsho Alakija. I'm very fortunate this week of having the pleasure of meeting her on Wednesday. And the first thing I noticed about Mrs. Alakija is her humility. I never saw money. I saw humility and just a love for people, and I'm just so honored and grateful to have you here with us this evening.
It's a pleasure to be here today.
Awesome. How was your trip?
Fantastic.
And
everybody we've met have been awesome. They've been very warm and loving and welcoming.
Awesome, awesome. When you talk about icons, business moguls, you not only rank up there with the best of the best, but you are the wealthiest black woman in the world. What role has God played in your life? Because you're so humble. I would never, just walking, if I saw you in passing by, I would never, and had a conversation with you, I would never fathom that you have any wealth at all because you're so humble.
I believe that it's not about me. It's all about God. Everything that we own, everything that we have worked for, what we think that we've worked for, belongs to Him.
Amen.
And everything comes from Him. He makes the choices of whoever He's going to bless. And we can work all our lives. If we don't have God in our lives, it may not work. And if you know, just as it is in my case, that it was because I partnered with God that God decided to bless me and honor the covenant that I entered into with Him. I know in my heart that it was all about Him and not me. Why wouldn't I be humble? Because I know that because He's the one who gave the wealth, He's the one who can take it any time.
Amen.
So
Absolutely.
It's all about giving glory to Him. We can't make one strand of our hair, as He says in the Bible. He says, without Him, we can't do anything.
Alakija, in business, we have so many hurdles that we have to jump over. It's not easy, and sometimes we're faced with decisions that can lead us down a road that's not ethical, that's unethical, to get from A to B. And how has your faith in God and your belief in God helped you to apply the principles that you need to get through those tough times? Because many go astray.
I don't think there's any need for anyone to compromise. If you have Jesus, you have everything.
Amen.
And He will direct our footsteps. He will lead us and show us the way in which we should go. And if we really do trust in Him, the way we read about Him and the way He tells us to trust in Him, rely on Him, I don't see any reason or any need why anyone should go astray. It's out of fear, out of wanting to do things oneself and trying to work things out oneself, that makes people listen to other voices and go astray. If you believe and trust in the Lord, I know that you cannot go astray. Because one of the tenets and principles of Christianity in the first place is that we should be content. It's not that He's saying that we shouldn't be ambitious. By all means be ambitious. Mm-hmm. But be content with what you have.
Amen.
Don't get greedy. You understand? Mm-hmm. Because greed will make you do things that you're not meant to do.
Right. Things
that God frowns at. And why would I want to do something that I know is not pleasing to God? You understand me? Right. God expects us to obey Him, obey His principles. They're all laid down in the Bible. If you're reading the Bible and you're just a reader and you're not a doer, you're wasting your time.
Right.
So what's the point?
Absolutely.
So if you do it right, you will end up in the right way and you'll be able to take the right decisions at the right time without having to compromise your faith or your religion.
Amen. I agree. The Bible says it's impossible to please God, without faith. And there's an old saying, talk is cheap. when your back is against the wall and the bills need to be paid, and it's so easy to compromise your integrity, but you have proven over and over again that with unshakable faith, God will come through for you.
He always does, because God is never late. He's always on time. It's when you do not believe that your faith begins to shake. If you believe, you will hold on to your belief. So the very last minute, I can assure you, at 95 or 99% of the time, God will show through.
Amen.
He will show through.
Amen.
And if you have to go through challenges to be able to get to where you need to be, or where He wants you to be, or where He wants to place you at some point, then go through the challenges. Maybe it's just a learning process. Maybe it's your wilderness experience, you understand me, that He wants you to gain.
Amen.
So you still need to go through it.
Yes.
If you have to, by all means do it. But you cannot lose out with God.
Amen.
He will replenish and restore everything that you may have lost along the line, because He's watching you. He's looking at your heart. Is this person going to be faithful? Is this person going to throw in the towel? If He knows that no matter what, you will stand firm, He will stand by you.
He'll stand by you, no question. Those whom He loves, He chastises, you know. But it's to restore us and make us stronger, so He can use us in the manner in which He predestined for our lives. Yes. What drives you?
Well, what drives me? A lot of things drive me. God has a spirit of excellence in Him, and He expects us to try as much as possible to grow in Him and to be more like Him. We should decrease in the flesh and increase in Him.
Amen.
And if we want to increase in Him, we will imbibe, some of those principles that He lives by. You understand me? And we need to get to know Him, develop a relationship with Him, and get to know what are those things He expects of us. You understand me? And the spirit of excellence is one of them. You understand? So that for me is the driving force.
Absolutely.
Another driving force is the quest for hard work, because you can't expect to have things drop on your laps. Right. No. God expects us to work. Mm-hmm. He said it right from Genesis. He said that we will have to work to earn our living.
Absolutely.
That's what He said to Adam.
Absolutely.
You understand?
Faith without works is dead.
And the woman is there to help the man, to support it. So if you have to work to support your husband, by all means. The way life is these days is that everybody needs to do something to put food on the table, to help out with the family economics, and give as much financial support as you can. So that drives me. Hard work. I
look at your videos and I've studied you, and I've seen how you've overcome pitfalls. Just tell us a little bit about what it was like growing up. I mean, you started out on a journey. It just didn't happen overnight. Everybody thinks success is it's a snapshot. Okay, she's the wealthiest black woman in the world, but let them know that you're human. You had some hurdles you had to jump over to get to this position in life.
Absolutely. Nothing comes easy. I mean, we all come to this world and we're all in a journey from the minute that we are born to wherever we find ourselves today. It's a journey. And our entire lives is a journey. You understand? Till we leave this sinful world. It's a journey. Our prayer is that while we're on that journey, that we fulfill our destiny according to the will of God for our lives. I grew up in a polygamous setting. I came from a family of 52 children.
52 children?
52 children, 8 wives, a Muslim background. I am child number 8 from my dad's side. From my mom's side, I'm child number 2. And my mom had 5 boys and 2 girls. I'm girl number 1 from her. And at the age of 7, my my father decided that he wanted to send two of his children to England to go and study. So myself and one of my half-sisters went abroad. My half-sister was 6, I was 7, and together we were in England studying for 4 years. We came back when my father said, okay, that's enough now. To cut a long story short, I settled back in. I did my secondary school, and then I started my A-levels, and I felt like going back to England. I told my mom, I told my dad that I really wanted to go back to study in England. So I went back to England. However, I told my dad that I wanted to study law. He said, no. You're a girl.
You aspired to be a lawyer?
Yes.
Wow, okay.
He said, you're a girl. You know, when you're going to get married. And what use are girls, because then that doesn't carry on his name. So anyway, I settled to be a secretary. And I came back after 2 years to Nigeria. I started working. I worked in a bank for about 12 years. And then I felt like going back again to study fashion design because I wanted to set up my own business. So by this time I was married. I'd had all my children. My youngest son, I have 4 sons. My youngest son was 2 at the time. And I got my husband's permission. And he said, okay, the youngest 2 are here now in Nigeria. Okay, on condition, I'll let you go on condition that you take the 2 of them with you. So he decided to put the 3rd one in boarding school with his older brothers in England. And I took my nanny with me, and my nanny and my last son would be at home while I was in class studying fashion design. Wow. I excelled in my fashion design. I did a 1-year crash program, and I got back to Nigeria, and I started my fashion business. Within 3 weeks of launching my fashion label, I entered into a competition, a fashion competition. It was a national one, and I won the cup for that year, 1986-87. I was the fashion designer of the year, and that brought me into fame, into limelight, into money, and I got to know a lot of people. I was enjoying everything I was doing because I love fashion.
Awesome,
yes.
Awesome, wow. You've heard it. Just an amazing, amazing woman of God. The most impressive. I've just been floored, enamored, and it's just been quite an experience, for me in meeting her. It doesn't take a lot. When God is in the midst of things move. Just being in her presence, talking with her over at the resort, it was just an amazing, amazing time for me just to talk with her. And the first thing first thing she started talking about was Christ. In Cleveland, you can do this. There's nothing you cannot achieve if God is out front. And I was very impressed with that. It's not about money. It's all about God. And Folorunsho Alakija, she proves that. I mean, and she brings it to you. And I mean, she's just an amazing testimony she has as it relates to her life and the vision that she has for God's people. And it's just a blessing to have her here in the United States and right here in the studio here at the Black Shopping Channel. Let's talk a little bit about business. A lot of small business owners don't have the resources, Alakija, to get their business moving forward. We've been fortunate at the Black Shopping Channel to create opportunities for small business owners all over the world with the advent of the internet to sell their products globally. And we've been so fortunate. What do you think about what impact the small business owners have in this global economy? You look at the Forbes, you look at the wealthiest people in the world, but if we don't have the little guy impacting those businesses, we can't meet our numbers quarterly, and that stock is going to fall. How important do you think it is for us to stimulate small business owners on a global basis? Because without them, we're headed for another crash.
The small businesses are the ones that are most important.
Absolutely.
In any nation, in any continent, and world over. Why? That's because of their numbers. Their numbers.
Absolutely.
Right. you start from somewhere. The big businesses didn't get to be big without having to start from, from
Absolutely.
some lower level.
Absolutely.
You understand me?
Absolutely.
And then you begin to build on where you're coming from, from one level to the other. Right. Now, it takes a lot of wisdom, and it's God's wisdom to be able to move from point A to point B. I have always said, listen, it's very difficult for businesses to progress without having God in the business.
Okay.
Seriously. Because the way he does things is different from the way mankind does it. He said, our thoughts are not your thoughts. My ways are not your ways. As my thoughts are higher than your thoughts, are my ways higher than your ways. He's the one that could give you that spark, that opening that you never thought or dreamt about. He can just drop it in your spirit. You never envisioned it. You never imagined it. He is the one that even makes divine connections, that gives you that open door. You understand? So if you invite God into your business, he will show up. And when he shows up, it makes all the difference. There are so many principles about how to run your business to make sure that it prospers.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
There's giving. You need to give, you need to sow. When you sow a seed, it dies in the ground, or is expected to die in the ground, right? But it's only for a short while. It's going to spring back up again.
Reap that harvest.
You reap that harvest.
That's right. Sow a seed, reap a harvest.
You
Absolutely.
reap the harvest. If you learn the principle of sowing and reaping,
Praise God.
you'll find that God is not man that he should lie. And every word that comes out of his mouth will not go back to him void.
That's right.
But will accomplish all that he has sent it to do. He is the one who has put all those principles in the Bible. They are there.
Yes.
Don't ignore them. Don't make your own rules. If you go by his rules, you'll find that you can make it. You will make it.
Make it. There's
nothing impossible with God.
Amen.
So you have to learn the principle of sowing and reaping. You have to learn the principle of tithing.
Amen.
Some people think, oh, I only just made $5. Why should I give part of that away? If I give part of that away, I'll only be left with $4.
That's right.
But what they don't get is that when you give out of that $5, it's going to multiply what's left over.
That's what his word says.
That's what his word says.
That's what it says.
You just need to put it into practice.
Amen.
When you put it into practice, you'll find that it works. There are so many principles about, making money, about businesses. We can't talk about all of them here right now.
Right.
But we need to put certain things in place.
Absolutely.
We need to get wisdom. Divine wisdom comes only from him.
Amen.
Yes.
Only from God. Absolutely. The true living word.
That's right.
Absolutely.
You can't sit there wishing. He also expects you to put some plans in place.
Absolutely.
If you put the cart before the horse, how do you expect the cart to run?
Won't run.
It's not going to run.
It's not going to run. It's a process.
That's right. It's a process.
It's a process. No question.
And as much as God wants to bless you and I, if he gives you too much money, like that, you could go crazy.
You go nuts.
Not knowing what to do with it and start doing the wrong thing with it.
That's true.
You understand? So it's not that he can't bless us as much as he would like, but he knows that he has to take us from one level to the other because he's training us.
Amen.
So you have to remain in his vineyard. You understand me? And go through that level of training and continue to plow back what you have made while you're tithing at the same time into the business.
Right.
And you keep taking another step forward. You keep taking the next step forward. That's how you will, at some point, become global. Because, don't forget, he says, he promises that he will direct your footsteps. He will lead you. He will guide you. He will speak to you.
Amen. That's right. No question.
Every business belongs to him. If
Everything.
you will hand it over to him, you will reap the fruits of your labor.
Alakija, when it's all said and done, how do you want to be remembered?
I'd like to be remembered for reaching out and touching those that have been left behind.
Amazing. Well said. There you have it. Folorunsho, Alakija, what an amazing time we've had here this half hour. You've gotten to know a wealth of information, and I hope that it inspired you, to reach for the stars, reach for the moon, and always remember that with God all things are possible. I'm Cleveland Gary. Until next time, take care.